What's up, guys? Swordsman here, and I got some, what is this, Team Deathmatch on Grand Bazaar from post-patch. It was captured on, what was it, Tuesday, I think it was? Yeah, Tuesday, yeah. I know you've probably seen a bunch of the post-patch impressions videos so far. I think Thale's done one, Stone's done one, Blink's done one. I don't give a fuck. I want to do one too. I got shit on my mind that I want to talk about, and yeah, so the patch has come and gone, of course. The PC and Xbox do not have the Karkin expansions, but they do have, well, the PC at least has the patch. I think the Xbox is waiting for the expansion. And overall, I like it. I will say I think they really overdid it on the IR scope. If I were to place a bet, I would say at some point they will rebalance it again, because it just seems like how bad it is. It seems like they might as well just take it out of the game and replace it with a different scope or something, because it does not look very useful at all. But what are you gonna do? Other than that, I'm a big fan of the new vehicle sensitivity that they added into the options screen. That was a big disparity for me. I had trouble playing at the infantry sensitivity that I'm comfortable with, but then oftentimes that didn't actually match up very well to what I was comfortable with in the vehicles. So now that they have their own independent sliders, I find that to be a pretty big bonus, and I'm glad they put that in. Thank you very much for that, DICE. Another aspect is the colorblind mode. I'm not using it here, but I did try it out a little bit, and I gotta say, it's pretty handy. It makes the text just easier to read quickly and on the fly for me. I, of course, am not colorblind, but it just shows up better. It's more clear, it's crisp, it's easier to read fast, and that can be really important when you're in the thick of things. So that's pretty cool. The enhancements to Battle Log itself seems handy. I crashed fewer times trying to get into a game. The additional sorting options is cool. Just basic stuff there. But then the big thing is the gun recoil. I'm personally going to say that I am a fan of the recoil changes. You do need to burst fire, once again, like Bad Company 2. There you can see, like, I could see him most of those shots, but I was having trouble getting shots on target at medium range there. And I think that's going to have a key impact on how the game will play out, where you might see less of these instant death type scenarios where previously if somebody saw a line on you, they could just hold the trigger and you were dead quick. But now if they hold that trigger, you might get a hit marker, you might get 2 hit markers, but it will give you time to react, because they gotta fight against their gun in order to get those like 3rd and 4th shots onto your target, onto your body. So that was a funny animation of the dead body just hanging on the wall. Reminding me of that Fallout 3 gun where you could shoot those railroad spikes and pin people to the walls. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I think the recoil changes is definitely in the right direction. Close range, full auto still reigns supreme, as it should. Medium to long, you definitely are going to be looking at burst firing and stuff, so I think that is definitely a bonus. Full disclosure, this hurts my ability to kill people. It was easier for my mediocre mouse and keyboard skills to kill people when it was just easier to full auto. That is just a personal thing to me, but I would have to think that I'm not alone in that. You got to think that with Battlefield 3 having such the huge publicity and going head-to-head with Call of Duty and the marketing and the wider player base it has tried to attract, I'm going to bet that I'm not alone in the people that are going to have a harder time killing people. Now, this will be tricky to explain and justify, because I think it should be a little harder to kill people at medium and longer ranges. What I'm saying is, I bet there's a lot of people that are going to be upset about that they were having an easier time killing people before, and now it might be tougher for them. So, for me, you know, I think you might see a bit of an outcry, or possibly people deciding to no longer play it if it's harder for them to kill people, which, I don't know. What is better for the game? Is the game better to have the better gun balance like this with having to burst fire, or is it better off having the wider player base to get DICE more money, well, EA more money, so that way they continue to invest more money in the expansions and the DLC and the more stuff. So I don't know what the ultimate answer is, what the greater good is. I'm going to lean towards having the better gun balance, and the better gunplay itself will be better long term, but I think short term you might see a negative reaction to how the guns changes as people find it more difficult to get those kills that they were looking forward to. The flashlight nerf seems perfect. It is absolutely blinding close range. Before, I saw a guy today that he was at the range where before it would have taken up at least half my screen. Now it sort of just looked like a white round dot underneath his gun, so that was kind of cool. Very nice to see that. And flashlight's change seems perfect. Though most times I run the laser dots, it doesn't really affect me personally. Though I did enjoy the tac light on some of my shotgun classes because those are super up close classes and they still seem to be viable up close on a shotgun, so that should be pretty good. Overall, I dig it. The patch seems to be a very nice step forward. Some things that they got into the game that they just didn't have at release, some things that they've modified since release, so that's a plus all around, that they're both continuing to finish the game in their original vision, as well as listening to the community feedback and adjusting along the way. That is good to see. DICE is usually pretty good about that. Though I will maintain my position that I think that Battlefield 3 would have been ultimately a much better game if it had another 6 months of development, another 6 months of polish instead of going head-to-head with Call of Duty. I'm sure they did it only for marketing reasons, and maybe it worked with the wider sales and the bigger splash, beating Call of Duty to the market. You know, maybe that paid off for them. But I think, as Battlefield fans, we would have enjoyed the game much more if it had a 6 more month development cycle to help polish things out and get things into the game, like the UI changes, the functionality of the menus, the sliders, hell, get Battle Recorder in. I bet they could have had Battle Recorder working if they waited until March or April, you know? So, again, that's just my personal opinion. But Battlefield 3 seems to be on the upswing, in improvement, due to these ongoing patches. I think there's a couple weapon balancing patches that they've mentioned that haven't gone live yet that they're still working on for the future, so hopefully Battlefield 3 continues its upward swing and we are able to continue to enjoy a game long term. So far, this has definitely increased my enjoyment of the game. I've been playing a lot of TDM to practice the gunplay. That seems to be the best place to go when you want to get used to the recoil again and get used to burst firing. To my own personal surprise, the spawns in TDM aren't too bad. A couple of the maps are a little weak, as you see one right there. Poor guy. Not my bad. My bad, dude. I didn't intend for that. I did not ask for this, as Thrall would say. But yeah, so far so good. TDM to get the recoil balances done, and been a fun time. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Our team did get to the loss, but I thought it showed a pretty reasonable showing of the burst firing and the weapon handling, as I had a lot of medium range engagements there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Take care, guys. I will see you later.